Hi, in this video we'll learn how to simplify rational expressions. So here let's take a look at the first example. I'm going to separate the numerical part and the exponential and the variable part here. So I'm going to write this as 16 over 8 times x to the power 11 over x squared. So I didn't change the value of the expression, but I just separated the numerical part and the variable part. Now we're going to divide this. 16 divided by 8 will be equal to 2. Now let's simplify this. How do we simplify this? So if you remember, there's a law of exponent which says that 8 to the power m over a to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m minus n. This is the law of the exponent, which says that if you divide the number with the same basis, then you can subtract the exponents. So here, let's say if you have, this is the base and this is exponent. A is the base and m is the exponent. So here you can see that these two have the same basis but different exponents. Here in this case, if you look at the variable x, we have an x in the numerator and the denominator. So basically we have the same base, so we can subtract the exponent. So we're going to subtract the denominator from the numerator because it's m minus n. So you're going to subtract, we'll write first the base because this is equal to a to the power m minus n. So we're going to write the base first. Since our base is x, we'll write here x. And then we're going to subtract the exponent. So this will be 11 minus 2. Okay, now let's simplify this. This will be equal to, we're going to have 2 here times x raised to the power 11 minus 2 will be equal to 9. So my answer will be 2 times x to the power 9. Now this is my final answer. This will be my final answer. And let's say if I need to identify any value of x which will make this expression undefined. So what we're going to do is when identifying the value for which the rational expression is undefined, we need to identify the value of the variable that makes the original denominator equal to 0. So here you're going to look at the original denominator, not at the final answer. You don't look at the simplified answer, you look at the denominator. What value of x will make this expression undefined? So let's say if I plug in x equals 0 here, let's say if I plug in x equals 0 here, I cannot have a 0 in the denominator because if you remember anything over 0, if you have a numerator and then anything over 0, if you have a 0 in the denominator, we call it undefined. That fraction is undefined. So you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So suppose if I say that if x is equal to 0, then what's going to happen is if x is equal to 0, 8 times 0 will be equal to 0. And this will make the fraction undefined. That means you cannot have a 0 in the denominator. So x cannot be equal to 0, right? X cannot be equal to 0. So if you need to identify any value of x which makes the expression undefined, you're going to do this step. Otherwise, if you just need to simplify the rational expression, then this will be your final answer. This will be your final answer. This is just the next step in case if you need to find any value of x which will make the expression undefined. So x cannot be equal to 0. Now let's take a look at this example. The same strategy we'll use here is, first of all, we're going to separate the numerical part and the variable part. So I'm going to write this as 3/2 times x to the power 7 over x to the power 4. Now, we cannot simplify 3/2 anymore. So this will remain as it is, but we need to simplify this portion. So again, we'll use the same rule, same law of exponent, which says that if you have the number, if you're dividing the number with the same basis and different exponents, then you can subtract the exponent. So here, I can write this as, first of all, I'm going to write here 3/2 because this will remain as it is. Okay, in place of x to the 7th power over x to the 4th power, I'm going to write here my base first. So I have to write my base here. In my case, my base is x. I'm going to write here x. And then you subtract the denominator from the numerator because it's m minus n. So my m is 7, my n is 4. So I'm going to write this as 7 minus 4. So this will be equal to 3/2 times 7 minus 4 will be equal to 3. So I can write this as x cubed. So my final answer will be 3/2 times x cubed, or you can write this as 3x cubed over 2. Both the values are the same. Now, so this will be my final answer in case if I just need to simplify the rational expression. But if I'm taking that to the next step, if I need to identify any value of x, which will make that rational expression undefined, I'm going to look at my denominator. What value of x can make this rational expression undefined? I can say that I cannot have a 0 in the denominator. If my x is equal to 0, then 2 times 0 will be equal to 0, which will make my fraction undefined. So my x cannot be equal to 0. If I plug in x equals 0, this will make my fraction undefined, because here, if x is 0, 2 times 0 will be 0, and 3x to the 7th power over 0 will be undefined. So x cannot be equal to 0. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.